We're here in central London in Carnaby Street with Omnia Health Group, and today we've got a range of different games where we're going to be testing out how people really feel about their mental health and see how truthful they actually are. The first mini game is true or false. Everyone they get right, they get a point. The next game is healing or avoidance. We've got 6 different statements where we're going to be asking random people whether they think it's healing or you're avoiding it. The last game is the wheel of reflection. We've got 10 deep questions here. We're going to ask a random person, but they have to answer it truthfully. Let's get into the video.
You should only go to therapy when you feel there's something wrong.
False. I think everyone can benefit from going to therapy. I think there's always something we all need to work on, and it can only be a positive experience of going through some of your feelings, your thoughts, and kind of unpacking life, as heavy as that sounds. I think it can be beneficial to everyone.
No, not necessarily. I think if you know yourself and if you're not at 100%, it's often best to go in and get that advice first before you really need it.
False, because sometimes I think there's a negative connotation on what is wrong, when actually it's just your childhood upbringing and numerous factors in terms of who you surround yourself with and just the person you are, so that it shouldn't be negative connotation. So I'd say false. You don't have to go to therapy. There's nothing wrong with you. Self-improvement.
Do you feel that mental health is just as important as physical health checkups?
Yeah, definitely equally. I think physical and mental should be given the same importance and be recognised the same. They affect our daily lives very similar amount.
True, 100%. Yes, your mental health and your physical health, you just got to take care of yourself at the end of the day.
Absolutely. I'd say absolutely, because without your mindset, almost that translates into your physical well-being as well. They're both accurate connotations of the two. So yeah, absolutely, yeah.
True or false, it can take time to find the right therapist?
I think true. I think everyone's different and everyone needs a different kind of connection. So I think there's no shame in talking to different people and seeing who you can connect with and who you can open up to.
True, I've personally had a few therapists and personally had to swap because they weren't a right fit. It's all very personal, like what you need, and it takes a little trial and error to get that right.
Do you feel like you know now what you would want from your therapist?
Yeah, I feel like I've got a good understanding of what suits me, what style I need from them, and personally I need someone that's going to be a little bit harder, not give me too much leeway, and call me out and stuff. But it took a while for me to realise that's what I need.
True or false, it can take time to find the right therapist?
So true, because we all have different personality types and we're suited to different people, all our different emotional needs and wants. So it's going to take time, but it's like anything, and you can be surprised. You can work with somebody and think to start with, I'm not sure it's a total match, but then you get to know them and you work together and you grow. So yeah, I think it takes time.
What would help you know whether you've got the right match?
Probably the type of therapist. If you're going, for example, for bereavement or general self-confidence, it totally depends on what kind of therapy you're looking for. If you're looking for more of someone to listen to you, or you're looking for, let's say, cognitive behavioural therapy, if it's more hands-on, and I guess it's working out what you're looking to gain from therapy, and from there you can know.
Do you feel like you have good knowledge about the different types of therapy and the one that would suit what you're looking for?
Yes and no. I think I have a overall good general knowledge, but I'm not amazing with super top therapist terminology, I'm going to be honest.
So we've actually created a quiz where we can help guide people to find what type of therapy suits them by kind of putting things into simpler terms. So it gets rid of that terminology and helps people learn about therapy styles and their personality type to try and get people aligned. Do you think that's something that would have helped you?
Absolutely, of course. When I first started therapy, I was totally blindsided. But I find that when you look at the before and after through the whole transition of it, it's amazing. So yeah, that would really help people.
Would you have found it helpful if before you started therapy there was a tool that could help decipher which type of therapy would work best for you, maybe based on what you like and what you want from the therapist?
Yeah, 100%. For me personally, then first few weeks of therapy was always, with each therapist, is always kind of getting to know them getting to know you and what's needed. If that could be sped up in any way, it would just mean you get into healing quicker.
True or false, all therapy is the same?
I think false. I think because therapy is so open-ended, I think there's different kinds for different things you need to unpack. I don't think it's the same. I think it's very multifaceted.
Do you feel like you know what different types of therapy there are?
Not necessarily, no. I just think there will be different kinds for the different needs of the person and the individual.
Do you think it would be beneficial to have a tool that would help you find out what type suits you the best before you started?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that can probably ease your experience in getting the right match and getting what you need out of the process. Yeah, definitely.
So healing or avoidance, moving to a new city?
Healing in a new environment, taking yourself somewhere else to focus on yourself. I think that's definitely a healing process.
Cutting someone off, healing or avoidance?
Totally depends on the scenario. I'm just being so boring answering that, but if it's to protect your peace and that person's causing you harm, then I would lean more on healing. But I think it totally depends. If you're someone that likes to leave things in a way that you felt you've said had your say, then absolutely. But it depends on the situation, I'm afraid, I think.
Healing or avoidance, going no contact with your family?
Ooh, I feel like it could be either way depending on the relationship and what's led to that. If you just decide, seeing my family can be a bit stressful, I'll have nothing to do with them, it's just avoiding. But if at the end of the day it's best for your health to limit contact with them, then that's just something you're going to have to do for yourself.
So a balance between finding boundaries and balancing stress or something that might be difficult. Healing or avoidance, saying I'm in my single era?
This is a big one for me. It's very current. I'm going to say healing. I think getting over a relationship, then becoming single, is part of your healing journey. I'm definitely in my healing mindset and era, so yeah.
Are there any times when you feel like that could lean the other way, where it could go into avoidance?
Yeah, I think so. If you're in your single era and you're not necessarily focusing on yourself, I think that can be an avoidant thing. You're not doing the work that maybe you need to do. So yeah, I think.
What about ending a friendship instead of addressing the issues?
I would say that's not healing, personally. I think your feelings and your wants and needs are incredibly important and people deserve to hear them. So just cutting it off is almost not serving you and giving yourself self-love because you've not expressed how you feel and they deserve to be heard. So,
healing or avoidance, saying I'm protecting my peace?
I feel like people use that as avoidance. It may not start off that way, but it just sounds a bit excusey. Like, yeah, I'm protecting my peace. I don't want to deal with it. It's very much putting it over there kind of behaviour.
Saying I'm done with dating forever, healing or avoidance?
Avoidant, definitely avoidant. Yeah, we're all about love and we're all about human connection. So I think that's a statement that is very avoidant.
And what about saying I'm done with dating forever?
I think that's a protection because I think deep down people, we all want to feel loved and we want to give love. It's just there are certain doors inside ourselves that we are scared to open because it's vulnerable. So I think it's totally understandable that you might want to close dating forever, but don't, because there are a lot of amazing people out there. And I really mean that there are.
Drinking or partying to clear your head, healing or avoidance?
Oh, avoidance, 100%. That's just wanting to forget or just not deal with it at the time. 100% avoidance.
Do you ever feel like that is part of the healing process? Maybe having them phases at some point could be leading towards healing in the future?
Yeah, I think it kind of comes down to moderation. If you're having a really tough time, going out and letting your hair down once isn't really going to hurt you. If it becomes a regular thing where you're drinking every night or going out partying every night, then it's becoming an issue.
Deleting social media, healing or avoidance?
Oh, I think that really depends on the context. I think you can delete social media to focus on yourself and take away the noise. But then I think it can be avoidant from, say, if it's your job. My job is social media, so that would be very counterintuitive.
Staying in bed all day, healing or avoidance?
Ooh, I'll go avoidance. We've all got stuff we've got to get on with, even if it's the more mundane stuff of life, like doing the washing and stuff like that. Unless you're really ill, there's no real need to stay in bed all day.
What if the situation was maybe you were suffering from burnout, maybe you were feeling very overwhelmed? Do you feel like sometimes something that could sound not so positive can be part of the process?
Yeah, like you say about if you're burnt out, then yes, maybe only cooking dinner that day is enough for that day. So yeah, if you're dealing with several things, then it can kind of go both ways.
So maybe finding the limit when a behaviour becomes too much and when it's actually negatively affecting you versus when it could be part of the process long term.
Yeah, I think a lot of behaviours could start off quite positive, and if you overdo it, then it can kind of turn negative the more you rely on it.
Okay, so if we could just get you to spin the wheel, and then we're going to ask a question to get you to do a little bit of reflection or maybe something that's going on at the moment. So if you could just spin for me, thank you. So that is a question you've been sitting with recently.
To let someone in and not be afraid of it, and sometimes being really independent is amazing, but it can be a little bit toxic in terms of it's to protect yourself. So to let someone in and not be afraid of it, because there are a lot of very kind people. So I haven't got to go hyper independent. I can let someone, take care of me as much as I want to take care of them. Yeah.
What advice would you give somebody else who is in your situation, who is maybe battling with whether they let someone in at the moment?
I think that just because of a couple of bad experiences don't let it taint your overall view of life. Life's a very long time, and you're going to stumble across people that are unkind, but people that are very kind. So don't let one bad moment or a childhood trauma or anything stop you thinking that there are not good people, because there really are. And people can meet you exactly where you want them to meet them. They've got to have opened up themselves and gone to therapy and healed to help you.
So maybe don't let your past or your fears hold you back from something that could be really good in the future.
Exactly that.
A dream you put back on the table. So I went to university and I studied geography, and then a dream was always social media and doing something more marketing related. So I've just started a new role. So I'd say I'm pursuing that dream and kind of differentiating from my studies, but pursuing what I want to do.
How did you get the courage to kind of make that switch and go into the dream you've always had if you started off by going into geography first?
I think taking the time to understand what I want longer term and just kind of really pursuing what it is would make me happy, and kind of prioritizing that over past things that maybe I was doing for the wrong reason.
What advice would you give somebody who you think might be on the wrong route now and is maybe thinking there's a job out there that could be more aligned with them, but they're scared to make that leap?
I'd say unpack your own values and goals and really understand long term what it is you're working towards, and that will keep you on the right direction. Outtakes.
Where do you find courage?
Ooh. I don't know. I think a lot of the time you don't realise you've had the courage until after the moment. A lot of the time it is just kind of dealing with the blows, and then afterwards you're like, actually that did take some courage to go there and do that. But I wouldn't say I often notice it in the time. It's normally afterwards on reflection.
So you feel like once you've had evidence that you've done something that's maybe difficult or hard for you, that builds up your courage in the long term?
Yeah, because you can take that into the next scenario and go, okay, I've been in something similar before, and kind of use them past experiences to prop yourself up.
So what would you say to somebody who has something that they're scared to do at the moment, but maybe they don't feel courageous? Would you give them any advice in that situation?
Yeah, I'd get them to kind of think back about past times they felt that way, and how they overcome it, and just kind of know that you've been okay before, you'll be okay again.
So maybe they need to get some evidence for themselves that they can be courageous by kind of taking that leap and doing it?
Yeah, I find all throughout life, there's little moments where you go for that job interview, you go on that first date where you're a bit nervous, and you have that all in your back pocket to kind of fall back on.